Aiden's doing a bit of practice out at JDMX Park, and while he does that, I've been playing around with actually making us a bit of a handbrake. So I've been putting this together to make a handbrake for the racing sim. I've got a switch here that sits like that, so as we drift it actuates the switch. I want to make sure that this is working properly. So I've got a couple of PCBs here from an old keyboard. So I'm going to solder these together and see if we can get them to work on the racing sim. So with the USB PCB plugged in, I've just got a piece of cable here. By touching it on different ones, I can get it to say, oh, there we go, that one's Q. It's that one. Oh, that one's the side arrow. By connecting two different ones of these together, changes the keystroke that you get. So what we're going to do is wire the switch in between, so when we push the switch it finishes the circuit on there and gives us like a K or a backstroke or a dot or something like that, and then we'll be able to program that as the handbrake. It's hard, isn't it? I'm like, oh yeah, I'll do a lap in a V8 supercar. No, it's so hard to drive. 80 trying to drive a V8 supercar around Bathurst. See how he goes. Ah! Fence! It's so hard to drive this car. It's not going to plan. I can't get solder to stick to that. So I'm going to need to scratch this black stuff off maybe. Getting that solder to work. This isn't going to plan. It tends to turn the computer off now when I plug it in, because I don't know exactly what I wired up. I've just chosen the two that sort of were easiest to work on, and then when it turns off. So that's not what I wanted to do. Right, so my brother gave me a hand. He's a lot smarter than me, and now when we push the button it says 5. So it works out, you have to actually know what you're doing. You can't just solder whatever you want. All right, so we managed to assign it to keypad number 5 by pushing that button. So I'm hoping that's it. All right, so we've got the test pilot in. We've got the handbrake.
Does the handbrake actually work?
Yeah.
You gotta hold it, mate.
Okay, figure out. Yeah, we got a working handbrake. Let's go. That's wicked. Oh, you know. So nothing but hard work in the workshop today. We've got Lewis hitting up North Course. What are you in? 180. Yeah. Very nice. What are you doing, Lewis? Moving it up. Yeah. So what are you hoping to achieve by moving the motor up?
I don't know exactly. I just know people say it feels easier to drive when it's higher up.
Okay, so by making the centre of gravity a bit higher,
yeah,
we're hoping to make it
a bit easier to drive.
It's easier to drift.
Yeah.
Interesting. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
What's the chassis?
Well, MST RMX.
MST?
RMX. Ready to run chassis.
Yeah, right.
Just need to buy the batteries.
Just rear-wheel drive though, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, not four-wheel.
Nah, none of that four-wheel crap.
Oh, big lock. It's like a Wisefab kit, isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah. Comes with a lot of toe out.
It does. You can see that.
I need to fix that. It's got too much.
Too much, you reckon?
Yeah, there's a kit you can have to buy to make it, where you can adjust the front.
So it toes in a bit more.
Like a real car. Have adjustable toe.
Well, that's probably not helping you with the whole oversteering. If it's towing out so much, it just drags the front in, sends it back around.
Yeah. So I should probably buy that kit.
What? Aiden's got some savage limiter going. What's going on over here? What are you driving?
I'm driving a Volvo.
A Volvo? With like the most savage limiter I've ever heard.
That's the way.
Oh, so we got the next piece of the puzzle, which is the shifter. It's nearly the last part of the build. I still need to get a screen.
The next 2 pieces of the puzzle, brother.
So let's have a look at what we got here. So this is the Fanatec shifter that's coming.
Club Sport.
What we got here? This is the Club Sport Fanatec shifter.
Sequential.
Now, what do you reckon? It comes with that shifter, but I kind of like the other one, I think.
I like the other one. If I can get it out.
Alright, you're gonna swap it over?
Gotta get the good shifter on straight away.
So the frame's not finished, but it's been definitely getting a workout. That's for sure. Alright, and what's cool is you've got this option here to change it between a shifter into a sequential. So try that now.
Oh wow.
You are not ready for the shift in this!
You can push forward. So it's pretty cool. So the sequential means no more side to side movement. And when you pull back, it engages again. So that's all mechanical. You flick this back. It's obviously nothing's plugged in yet, and it goes back to being a shifter. So yeah, quite a nice bit of gear. So now we need to sort of figure out where we want to put it.
There? The handbrake?
Probably go a bit lower with the handbrake. Yeah, that's the go. You want it lower like that. Yeah, you want to be grabbing the top of it. You don't want to be grabbing halfway down. You want to be up there. Now what about the shifter? I kind of want to work out the shifter because the shifter's probably more important, and then I can, once I know where the shifter's going, we make the handbrake work. It's about right, isn't it?
Yeah. It's perfectly in line as well.
So what do you reckon? In line there with the steering wheel when it's in neutral?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
Just go down. Just pull it into 4th. Is that good?
yeah.
So directly in line with the steering wheel.
All right.
Yeah.
And that height's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the hand just drops onto it. I think that's why I like this taller.
Because yeah, if
The
I
other
get
one's
that
gonna-
smaller one, it'll be like there.
Yeah. Nah, leave this one. I like this one. And then you can tick it.
Yeah.
Like it's a...
Also get some actual shift knobs, like if you get one for a car.
Oh, okay.
Get some, like it's basically, it'd probably be a car thread.
Yeah, wicked.
You just have to work out the thread.
Yeah,
Buy a
they're all
shifter.
pretty standard. All right. Let's have a look at the handbrake then. I want that, but I probably want it like this. I'm pulling it that way towards me. So
If
go
it's like-
full that's like full rally spec, isn't it? Just next to the wheel there. Oh, you got that?
Yeah.
All right, so we line that up with the collar and line that up with the steering wheel.
Steering wheel color.
So we're getting this handbrake finished. What I want to do is I'm going to make a case where bolts sort of hold it all together, and then these, it's a flat bar here. Where does that go? Up here. A bit of flat bar goes on the floor, a bit of flat bar goes on the corner there. That one's going to go there, and then we sandwich it all together to make a box. Now what I've done is I've welded these corners together, so then I can center pop all the holes and drill them both at the same time. They'll be in exactly the right spot on both plates. So I want to draw a radius on this.
So that's too sharp.
That's too small.
That's too big.
That's too big, but this is the exhaust pipe off my 2ZZ. Split chamber, pretty cool. This pipe here is actually the exact radius I want. So I need to at some point remake this with without the washers, with like a bit of rubber or something.
Make it a little bit easier.
No, you'll see when you go to use it. She makes an awful noise.
Oh, is that because it crushed?
This just goes bang.
How hard do I have to actually reef on it?
It's decent. It's
Like-
not insane, but it's decent. I think it's the right amount.
Because some people are like, oh, you really got a reef on it, and you're like, oh, that's pathetic. Like you just tug it.
It is a lot of leverage.
That definitely would help.
Yeah. So you know.
Because if you're like pulling here, you're like, yeah.
don't think it matters. All right, so as you can see, we've just got these tacked on, which then becomes the point that we can sandwich it all together. That looks pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that.
It's gonna look sick when it's done.
Yeah,
Really
hopefully.
industrial.
Yeah.
Going for the industrial look.
Might have to get some. Whoa. I'm wicked at this game. So normally if you're putting an 8mm bolt in, I'd drill like an 8.5mm hole.
Yeah.
Just to give it a little bit of clearance. But for this one, I drilled them 8mm.
So we didn't have any play.
Yeah, I kind of want them all to line up and not be sloppy, you know.
Because yeah, when you get that little bit of slop, then it makes the whole thing feel loose.
Yeah, so these are...
And then it starts rattling because you got it like sliding in between bolts and all that. I think she's pinched.
Yeah, it's no good, is it? Oh no. What have I done? I think I need to weld that to here.
Yeah.
So we can... Lewis is going to give it a test.
It's pretty good, like you.
So pull it until it like goes hard. Yeah, and that's where it will engage. So definitely need rubber on here. Otherwise we're going to wake the neighbours up drifting at 1 in the morning. I think it's tight enough, right? Like
Like if you're drifting, you're like that's got enough force feedback to like when you flick it, just
yeah.
the
So
shift is real stiff as well. Like everything's a lot more firmer.
it doesn't feel like just a lever, does it? Like you got to really sort of...
You gotta like pull it like an actual handbrake would be because there's like pressure in the hydraulic lines.
Yeah. So there we go. That's basically the chassis done. I'm just going to whiz these up with a weld. Casing here pinches a little bit, so I've machined up this spacer here. That's going to go in there like that. So yeah, the spacer's going to be in there just to sort of keep just the right amount of width there for the handbrake to still actuate. So with that spacer in, just holds the gap exactly right. Makes that nice and smooth to operate. That's essentially the handbrake done. I'm just got to figure out how to mount it. Just making the bracket here, so the handbrake is going to also be the part that holds onto the shifter. The idea like that. So the mount for that is also the mount for the handbrake. With that tacked up, we're going to have to figure out a way of mounting it on the frame so that it's in exactly the right spot and strong enough that I can hang off the handbrake and shift without anything sort of moving around. So we're using this box because we figured that that was actually the perfect height. So I'm just having a look here now. The original plan was to have the shifter in line with the steering wheel, but I've realised I've mounted the handbrake wrong. The original plan was the front of the handbrake is actually going to line up with the back of this, so this whole thing needs to go back to here. But I'm afraid that if I move it back, I'm going to lose the strength of this nice little box that I've created. Here to the shifter, the handbrake's going to be right there. I'm going to have to move it. It needs to be here. This is exactly what you tack everything, right? You want to start fully welding until you've completely worked it out. Let's go crack this open. So obviously this new shape is nowhere near as strong as what I had. So we're definitely going to have to brace it all up. But the spacing's correct now. So if that sits like that with the shifter, the handbrake is now in the correct position of being, you know, that extra 140mm forwards. So let's strengthen that up. So I'll probably put a triangle in there and a triangle in there, and that should probably be strong enough. And then once I've got the triangles built, we can start to look at how we're gonna actually mount that to the frame. So we should have the strength back, but that's a whole lot more metal. Obviously a lot of this will get trimmed back and we'll make triangles instead of squares, but there we go. Now the handbrake's in the right spot, so shifter mount there, handbrake mounted all the way back there. We'll figure out how to get that on the frame now. I reckon if we just go straight down like this, it needs to be flat here because obviously the mechanism for the handbrake is working like this mechanism. I'm lucky with this height, I only just got that right. All right, I think from here, what needs to happen is I'll cut all these triangles and make this look nice, so that I can make this bit nicely and easily instead of lying on the floor where it's really cold. What do you reckon, 80?
Yeah, it's a good spot.
So, you're going to do a handbrake entry while you're in 7th gear?
No.
Does it miss?
Yeah.
Good. That's all we did. So how close is it? Oh, that is close, isn't it? I mean, worst case scenario, right? That is literally 7th gear. You're going to be doing handbrake entries in 7th. Most of the JDM cars that you'll be drifting only have a 5-speed anyway. This thing's really boxy, but the thing with a square is all out here is doing nothing. So what I'm going to do is turn them into triangles and just try to make it look a little bit sleeker.
I'm not supposed to have that.
In my opinion, that's a little bit prettier. It's not square and boxy. Well, I think this bit here sort of proved itself to be right. So I reckon we spend a few minutes welding her up. I'm pretty stoked with that. Looks pretty cool. Did a full weld on there. But these ones here, I just sort of stitched them. But yeah, there we go. There's that mount pretty much done. So this box has actually been really handy. It actually proved to be the perfect height. We can mock up the exact position that we want. Push the box hard up against the frame down here, which puts the shifter in the perfect spot. And with the shifter in line with the steering wheel, that's about right. Just come forward just a little bit. That looks pretty good. Jeez. So I stand on square, that's nice and in line. Let's put the handbrake over here. And now we've got to connect the dots down to this frame.
Hey guys, Chris Fix here.
So I've extended this plate down here, welded it on, and then I'm going to cut this out to match the profile. Trace that like that. Cut that out to match and weld it onto here. It should look quite neat. So this is the bottom of the tube. I'll just come up a little bit because I want to weld it on the center line of the tube there. So I've just marked out there with the curve, mark that out, so it'll cut along that line, and that should be spot on. So something like that. I might just round that out a little bit more, make it neat. So there we go, pretty happy with that. Level that way, level that way. Now obviously one weld's not going to be enough for this, so I reckon we're going to do a brace from here down to there next. I've been using the seat as sort of the thing that holds the frame apart here, but I don't think it's actually strong enough. It'd be nice to be able to remove the seat and not have the frame flapping around, so I'm going to put this bar here in. So I'm just going to notch the two ends and slide it in there and tack it in, and it should be good. Well, we've definitely tested this thing enough. We had a lot of game time on it. I'm pretty happy with the location of this. I still need to obviously add a bit of bracing and do some stuff, but I'm at the point now where I actually have a good amount of welding that needs to be done. So I'm going to take everything off and we're just going to get stuck into finishing off all the welds because everything's basically just tacked at the moment. So yeah, we've got a bit of welding to do. Let's go. Testing the handbrake on the sim rig, and it seems to be, well, Lewis is in the trees. So the sim rig's pretty much done, and we finally got the handbrake up and running. Got the shifter going, and Lewis is, where are you, Rayleigh? Yeah. Lewis is out at Rayleigh, driving a V8 180. And testing the handbrake, going, show us the handbrake. Look at that, always beautiful. Missing, always. Yeah, Lewis. Oh, back ease. That's pretty good to us. So I bought this secondhand Sony Bravia. It was like 50 bucks. And I reckon that placement's about right. So I need to figure out how to mount that now. But yeah, pretty happy with it. Handbrake's working pretty well. Shifter's fun to use. Clutch is sick. So that's pretty much the drift sim all done. Yes, lad. Nice. Hey, check us out on the socials. On Instagram, we're on Second Stage 86. I love taking photos of cars. This is where I post them. Head out to Cars and Coffee and Racetrack, taking photos, so go have a look at that. If you enjoy a bit of brain rot, we're on TikTok. Head over to TikTok, short form videos all about metal fabrication, some tips and tricks, and car content and stuff messing around in the shed. If you know what the Y2K bug is, we're on Facebook, doing Facebook things on Facebook. So go over there, scroll there, have a look around. Subscribe to this video and hit like. Tell me about what you enjoyed about it in the video. Tell your nan. Second Stage dropped a new video. Check it out, nan. Alright, take it easy.